Fine, ma'am.
Shall we start? Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Shall we start? It's fine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Zeba, you can start.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. A warm and pleasant welcome to you all present here. On behalf of Christ Social Responsibility, Christ College of Science and Management, the Department of Computing and Basic Sciences, in association with IQAC and IIC, I extend a hearty welcome to you all to today's workshop on research, ethics, and data integrity. I, Zeba from First BCAA, will be your host for today's program. Today's session is designed to enlighten us about the ethical principles and responsibilities every researcher must uphold in maintaining accuracy, honesty, and integrity in their work. To begin this enlightening evening, let us take a moment to invoke blessings from the Almighty. Let's all close our eyes and observe a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. Every great event begins with a warm welcome. To extend the welcome address, I now invite Ms. Kavya from 3rd BSc to kindly address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to warmly welcome you all to this wonderful online gathering. On behalf of Department of Computing and Basic Sciences, I extend a very cordial welcome to each and every one of you who has joined us today. I would also like to extend my heartfelt welcome to our respected Father Principal, Reverend Father Jin George CMI, Christ College of Science and Management, whose constant support and guidance make even this possible. I extend my warm welcome to Ms. Adi Lakshmi, Head of Department of Computing and Basic Sciences, for her constant support and guidance. We are deeply honored to have with us our distinguished resource person, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, Assistant Professor of Computer Science at St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli. Sir, we are truly privileged to have you with us today. Your vast experience and valuable insights in this field of computer science will certainly enlighten and inspire our participants. We eagerly looking forward to hearing from you. A special mention to our dedicated event coordinators, Ms. Ramya Bharati and Ms. Amrin, for their hard work and meticulous planning in organizing this session. Your efforts are truly commendable. To all our participants and attendees, students, faculty, and guests, thank you for taking the time to join us virtually. Your presence adds immense value to this event. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to this online program. Let us look forward to an enriching and inspiring session ahead. Thank you once again.
Thank you for that heartfelt welcome, Kavya. Now I invite Mr. Manu Francis from 3rd BSc to introduce the resource person.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to our respected principal, Reverend Father Jins George CMI, esteemed HOD, Ms. Adilakshmi Ma'am, our dedicated faculty coordinators, Ms. Ramya Bharati and Ms. Amrin, all faculty members, enthusiastic students, and every participant who has joined us for this insightful online session. It is my absolute honor and privilege to introduce today's distinguished resource person, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, Assistant Professor of Computer Science at the prestigious St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. With an illustrious teaching career spanning 16 years, Dr. Vimal Gerald is a beacon of academic excellence and innovation. He holds a PhD in computer science, MPhil, MCA, MBA, MSc Psychology, PGD-BI, and a BSc in Computer Science, all secured with first class from reputed institutions like St. Joseph's College and Alakappa University. Adding to his credentials, he is UGC NET qualified 2019. His research prowess is remarkable, with 15 research publications, including 8 Scopus Index papers, and contributions in top-tier platforms like IEEE and Springer. He has authored the book Computer Networks and contributed chapters in international conference proceedings and college publications. Dr. Gerald has successfully completed two funded research projects, including a UGC minor research project worth 2.93 lakh rupees on IoT-based Information Kendra and a St. Joseph's College research grant of 1.05 lakh rupees for secured IoT-based smart health management system. A UGC recognized trainer for MMTTCs on ICT, Dr. Vimal Gerald has trained over 30,000 faculty members across India in digital pedagogy, e-content development in the four-quadrant approach, learning management systems, and academic digital integration. He has delivered more than 400 invited technical sessions, FDPs, webinars, and workshops sponsored by UGC, AICTE, MHRD, and MOE, earning him the reputation of a national level AI coach for academicians. He proudly serves as a journal reviewer for IEEE Access and International Journal of Communication Systems and is an active member of IEEE, ASPF London, and INSC Bangalore. His contributions to St. Joseph's College are monumental, from being a core team member in developing JOSTEL, the college's exclusive LMS, to digitalizing cultural events like INTEP, training faculty during the pandemic, and leading e-content development initiatives. As former coordinator of Fine Arts Association, he led teams to win over 40 overall shields in intercollegiate cultural fests and was honored as the best cultural coordinator of aided colleges by Bharati Dasan University. Dr. Vimal Gerald's excellence has been recognized with a galaxy of awards. Global Best Computer Science Faculty Award by ASTF London, Best Researcher Award 2016 and 2020 St. Joseph's College, Best Teacher Award Institute of Scholars Bangalore and St. Joseph's College, Best Paper Awards from IEEE Conference and Tirubhuvan University, Nepal, Kamraj Award Integral Training Center, Qatar, Management Award for UGC Minor Project. Beyond academics, he has served in pivotal roles: Assistant Director of Hostels, Joint Secretary of SJC Alumni Association, PRO Team Coordinator, AICUF Advisor, and NAC Core Team Member for Criteria 5. His social outreach includes leading relief efforts during Gaja cyclone and Kudalur floods and organizing awareness programs through AICUF. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him, a visionary educator, prolific researcher, digital transformation leader, and an inspiring mentor, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, as he takes this session to enrich us with his expertise today. Thank you, and I remain.
Thank you, Manu. Now, to share a few words and inspire us with her thoughts, I now invite our respected Head of the Department of Computing and Basic Sciences, Ms. Adilakshmi, to address the audience.
Thank you, Zeba. Respected Father Principal in his absence, and respected and esteemed resource person, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, Assistant Professor of Computer Science in Joseph College, Autonomous, Tiruchirappalli. Looking at hearing your achievements, so far it's almost more than 10 minutes, I think. Your achievements, it's been read. We got a right person for this session. That is what I have to say. Before getting into this particular workshop, I just wanted to share a few things and throw light why we are very particular about this topic, that is research ethics. The thing is, like, as per the government notification, we thought of conducting and commemorating the Vigilance Awareness Week. And when it is something about a voice against corruption, so we wanted to establish an anti-corruption India. So in all the means, we were thinking of conducting an events. So when coming to the department, when the students of each domain, if they understand what ethics to be followed in their means, that is also a part of it, so that they can easily understand what is actually the integrity is and how they supposed to follow it in their regular day-to-day life and as well as in the career too. So with this thought, we came up with this topic, research, ethics, and integrity. It's a common thing. It is not domain specific, but it is, of course, it's having an educational value. And we need an expertise who can able to guide us in all the means, because the person should have an ability to work in this kind of environment. And of course, a very good experience will help us to mold better in this particular field. So that is what we were looking for it. And thanks to the coordinator, Ms. Amreen and Ms. Ramya Bharati, we got a very good contact of Dr. Vimal sir. And looking at your profile, you were into many fields. And of course, I repeat, you are the right person to say about what exactly the ethics we have to follow with respect to the research. So I'm glad you accepted our invitation, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from you, sir. So thanks a lot. Over to you, Amreen, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thoughtful words. And now, the moment we have been waiting for, the workshop session by our esteemed resource person. Please join me in welcoming Dr. A. Vimal Gerald to lead us through his informative and thoughtful provoking session on research ethics and data integrity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Zeba. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
All for the greater glory of God Almighty. Most respected Reverend Father Principal in absentia, all the fathers, esteemed management, most respected head of the department, Dr. Adi Lakshmi, Dr. Amrin and Dr. Ramya Bharati, the host Zeba, Kavya and Manu, who introduced me, and all the faculty members of the Department of Computer Science and Basic Sciences. My friend Dr. Sam, who is part of the college, and my dear student friends who are connected in Google Meet as well as in YouTube. A very good evening to you all. I am really very much pleased for this invitation. Now, we value Christ College of Science and Management, Bangalore, Malur, who does really wonderful work in uplifting the youngsters through educational services. Great of you. I am really glad and I'm really privileged for this opportunity. I am thankful to the entire management, Reverend Father Principal, and at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Adi Lakshmi, Dr. Ramya and Dr. Amrin, and my friend Sam for introducing me to the college. Thank you so much, dear friends. I deem it a great honor given to me. And while felicitating Dr. Adi Lakshmi has set the tone for this workshop, this is termed as workshop. I'm going to start with a presentation, and I wonder why the students was invited, because it is usually done for research scholars and faculty members when research is concerned. And once Madam has given us the perspective of why this workshop is being organized for the students in view of anti-corruption week or vigilance week, it is not that anti-corruption or vigilance is something connected to only politician and only to business people and not for academicians. Everybody in the world need to be a person of integrity, everyone. So as students and teachers, learners and educators, it becomes essential that you and me are persons of righteous as described in Bible. And my dear friends, as academicians, you and me should be an example to the society as educators, as learned, as not just educators, but also as a good human being, as a righteous person. So friends, as part of being a person of integrity, it is essential that you and me in the pursuit of higher education in all our process, whether it could be teaching, learning, and evaluation. Both teachers and faculty members, we need to be a person of integrity and we need to be honest. Let us pledge ourselves in all our practices, whatever that we do. We should be a person of honesty, whatever costs it may be. So let us pledge and let us move on for the presentation. My dear friends, the theme given to the today's workshop really amazed me. Yes, my dear friends, research ethics and data integrity. Today's world is full of competitive, world is full of competition. So one is trying to come forward, competing with others. Some are really trying on their own self. Some are trying with malicious means. Both compete. Sometimes the winner may be the second. Those who go in the shortcut or those who try in the malicious means. But it should not happen. It should never happen. And we should not indulge in those such malicious activities, and in our purview, it should not happen. It should never happen to anyone. So my dear friends, in today's context, knowledge creates progress. Ethics in contact, ethical contact, or ethical contact in research is not just merely an academic expectation. Friends, please understand, it's not just an expectation, but it should be a moral responsibility of everyone, including teacher and the students. So my dear friends, research is built on trust. We believe that somebody has come out with his own knowledge. It is a world of IT. Anyone can do anything today. 20 years before, when we were, students, we were not exposed to gadgets like you. Then there were no mobile phones. There was no internet. There was no AI and so on. So people relied on their own self and they came out with their own talents and skill. But today, all of us, particularly the students of today, born in digital era, born with technology, you are exposed to everything. At your fingertip, you can get anything. You can get information, you can get images done, you can get video done, you can get assignments done, all that are possible. At this juncture, when we do academic practices, particularly getting information or doing assignments, we need to follow honesty. Research integrity should be in our principle. So my dear friends, once again, let me tell you, in the context of research, I'm just focusing. Research ethics is not merely an academic expectation, but a moral responsibility. So research is built on trust. We believe that somebody has come out with his own. So it is a trust between the researcher and the society. The society believes that this researcher has come out morally. And it is between the mentor and the students. Now, our teacher gives us, guides us morally, ethically. And it between data and interpretation, the original data and how it is being interpreted. So we need to have trust between all these. When ethics is compromised, friends, when things are given up just for malicious means, for example, through plagiarism or data manipulation or biased results or reporting, so very foundation of the knowledge that we think that is greatest becomes weak. So my dear friends, data integrity that should be ensured and it should result in genuine, verifiable and reproducible. So it should always reflect our character as scholars and professionals. It is a reflection of our character, my dear friends. So my dear friends, as young researchers, both teachers and scholars, our mentors, as advisors, students and scholars, let us all remember honesty, transparency, and accountability. I repeat, honesty, transparency, accountability, they are the cornerstones of meaningful research. So my dear friends, ethics is not just a limitation. It is a compass. guiding us all for a credible discovery, my dear friends. So I invite every one of you, both faculty and the students, for today's session to reflect and to question ourselves and to reaffirm that you and me should have commitment on ethical research practices. So students may wonder, we are all UG students, what are we going to research? When you're involved in project, you just exhibit your honesty. Together, my dear friends, let us nurture a culture of trust, truth, which is very much ultimate outcome of research. So, my dear friends, with that short note at the outset, let me take you for the presentation. Are you all ready? Have I set you with the tone? My dear friends, am I going right?
Sure.
Students,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you find it? My pace is
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Is everything fine? If you're okay, +1 in the chat room. Is everything is fine? The way that I go with, is my language simple? And am I dealing with students
Yes, sir.
also? I'm just, students can reply me pressing 1. Students, press 1 if you are getting me. Just 1 in the chat window. Let us see how many of you are listening to me. There are 100 plus. Okay, both in YouTube and thank you, friends. I'll be asking you questions. It's not going to be monologue. It's workshop, so you should be with me. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Fine. Let me just go ahead. Kindly hold on. Okay, let me go for my presentation. I'm getting it ready. Kindly hold on, my dear friends. I'm getting it ready. Is my presentation visible? I have made it visible. Is my
Yes, sir.
presentation
It is.
visible? Thank you. So, my dear friends, the presentation once again. Let me just give you the focus. I've just given you in general. Any of our academic practices should be, intertwined with integrity. Okay, integrity and ethics. You and me should be a responsible person, responsible citizen in all that we do as educators, as learners. But today the presentation is going to be on the focus of research. So what is research ethics and what is data integrity? Let me take you for the presentation, all of you, my dear friends. The sketch of the presentation goes like this. Now I'll be just furnishing you with the introduction of what is ethics in research, in the context of research. And I'm going to give you the exploration on the principles of ethical research. What is ethical research and what is unethical research? I'm also going to give you the meaning of data integrity and why it is so important today. And what could it cause if it goes wrong, if integrity is lost in data. And let me also give you what are the misconduct in research with regard to plagiarism and other means. And what are the responsibility of the institution and individuals. What some of the case studies I shall deal with. Then if time permits, I shall also introduce few AI tools today. Okay, my dear friends. My dear friends, before I move on, research comes out with what? What research brings in? Friends, tell me, what research brings in? Why do people engage in research? Can I have your answers in the chat quickly? Why do people engage in research? Why do people engage in research? Come on. Can you give me, why do people engage in research? Why should we engage ourselves in research? It's just because for getting a PhD or MPhil or just submitting a paper. Why do we need to do research? Can I have your response in the chat window quickly, my dear friends? Why do we carry out research? Wonderful, Dr. Amarin, to acquire knowledge. Okay, fine. What about others? You can give me your answers in the chat window. Yeah, to expand knowledge. Thank you, Kushma. To expand what we have, to recover something what we possess. Anything else? Curiosity, okay, to know more. Fine. Thank you, Scale. Kavya, thank you. To get better outcomes. Yeah, what we have and what is going to come. Very nice. Hemant, thank you. To discover new knowledge. Something new. I want to bring out something new to the world. Charan, thank you. To get new knowledge. To identify something new, completely new. Thank you, Charan. Anybody else?
To contribute something to the society.
To contribute something to the society. Excellent. The absolute end product should be useful to the society. Thank you. To solve problems. Yeah, we have problems in the society. To solve problems, research helps us. You know, today we have so many policies in the country. All the policies are the outcomes of one or the other research. So, my dear friends, I would like to sum up what you have said. Now, all of you are perfectly right. You know, research is to gain new knowledge or to discover something or to invent something which is existing, or, my dear friends, to guide somebody, come out with a policy, to go for new norms, to benefit the society, or to solve a problem which may be a complex or simple. So all these are some of the benefits of research, and the research is done to bring about something which should be useful for the society. If the research goes wrong, there is no problem if the real research goes wrong. If the research is manipulated, if the research is manipulated and the outcome is not genuine, then it has its own, value. Value in the sense negative connotation. It has its own impact negatively. The whole world will have to pay for it. For example, in Corona, we have a lot of speculation. You know, there are so many, unethical research practices. Recently, there was an issue. You know, a Chennai-based company producing syrup. You know, consuming that, so many children died in North India, which is an outcome of unethical research. So, my dear friends, what is research ethics? In general, ethics refers to moral principle which guides research behavior. Okay, where whoever getting involved into research, whoever does something to find something new, we need to be guided morally, ethically. And my dear friends, we need to ensure honesty at any point. We need to be honest. Even submitting a simple project. See, if I copy something, the teacher may not know, but I know, my conscious knows that it is a copied work. So we need to ensure honesty. We need to ensure accuracy. You know, accuracy should also be there. If the result is wrong, no problem. You keep it as it is. Accuracy is also essential, and accountability. See, we need to acknowledge the little contribution of others. I cannot take somebody's work and I project. So we need to be accountable. We need to be giving credits. We need to acknowledge somebody whose work is being reflected in my research. So three things should be kept in mind. Okay, when you do research, my dear friends, that is what we mean by research ethics. Number one, you and me should be a person of honesty. Others may not know, but my conscience knows. I need to present as it is. I should not manipulate. Accuracy. And I should be accountable. I should acknowledge the contribution of others in the scholarly work that we all engage. My dear friends, the research ethics also encourages mutual respect. I need to respect human beings when I get data. When I get animals get involved into lab research, I need to respect the animals also. Though it is an animal, I should not take it for granted. I need to go ethically, morally, guided by the society and environmental also. I should respect environment. I should respect the society. So it should be respect between human, animal, environments. My dear friends, research ethics should also promote credibility. People should believe me. People should trust me. Yes, my dear friends, credibility and trust are two-sided coins. It should be in research, particularly in academic researches. So this is general, introduction to research ethics. I hope all of you understand what is a research ethics. Now, my dear friends, why research ethics matters a lot. See, if I copy and submit, what is the big deal? What will happen? If I use others' work, what is the loss? If I just use plagiarized content, if I use copied content, if I use somebody else's content, if I use inaccuracy in data presenting, I alter the data, I manipulate the results. What is going to be? What is the loss? My dear friends, it prevents misconduct. Research ethics. When you are following research ethics, we can avoid misconduct in research. So the product end results will be perfectly fine for the society. Otherwise, the consequences will have its own impact in the society. And my dear friends, research ethics builds trust among the teachers and public. The people can believe in research. Today, my dear friends, to be very frank, all 100% of academic researchers are not genuine. Not even 10, 20 projects goes to the society, benefits the society. Then what about 80% of research? If it is true, if it is genuine, if we follow research ethics, all 10% should be useful to the society. The end product should be absolutely beneficial. One or the other way. Need not be a product completely. At least findings should be benefiting the society. So my dear friends, research ethics avoids misconduct, it builds trust, and it ensures responsible use of resources. I will use resources ethically and morally, and it protects the researchers from using intellectual property. See, for example, if I have discovered something, if I have invented something, if I have done something on my own, if it is novel, the credit should be given to me. Somebody else should not take it. All these are ensured. Once again, I repeat, the research ethic ensures avoiding misconduct or preventing misconduct, building trust among people, and it ensures the ethical use of resources. It also protects the researchers using IPR. Okay. And my dear friends, by the way, what is IPR? Can you give me your expansion in the chat window, because a lot of students are connected. I just would like to ask you, what is the expansion of IPR? IPR? What is IPR? Can anyone try IPR? Intellectual, yeah, Kushma, yeah, right. Intellectual property rights. Madam, are you a student or madam? I'm sorry addressing you by name. I do not know whether you are a student and staff. Yeah, Nitish, thank you. Intellectual property rights.
She's a student, sir.
Student, right. Thank you. So Nitish and Kushma, thank you. So my dear friends, it is IPR, intellectual property right. See, if I have an asset, I have a document. If I have an idea, that can be brought under intellectual property right. A business model, an idea, a process, all that are coming under intellectual property right. Okay, my dear friends, just for making you simple. And what are the core principles of research ethics? What are the core principles of research ethics? Apart from what is given in the slide, can you give me what are, see, imagine that you are doing a project. My dear friends, imagine that you are doing a project, okay? You are doing a project. 1 minute, dear friends. 1 minute. I'm sorry. Kindly hold on for a while. Power is not connected. Kindly hold on. Thank you. My dear friends, am I audible? I'm extremely sorry. Am I audible, ma'am? Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir. Yes, sir, you are
I'm
audible.
extremely sorry. I was not conscious of connecting my power plug. So unfortunately, I left the floor. Right now, somebody helped me to join because it was full. I was trying for a quite long time, but somebody helped me. Really, thank you very much. Thank you for being so thoughtful. Thank you. Is my screen visible, ma'am? Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
What is the window that you're seeing? Is the PowerPoint visible to you all? Okay.
Core principles of research ethics.
Yeah, right. My dear friends, this is very, very important. If you are a researcher, if you're going to involve in research, even from UG undergraduates, when you do projects, these 5 principles should guide you, should guide us, not only you, all of us. My dear friends, the first one, honesty. Report any data truthfully, whatever, even if it is bitter. Okay, you may not wish it to be, but report it honestly. You may not get intended result, but report it honestly. Tell your faculty, tell your research advisors, or tell the person concerned that this is the original data that you have got, maybe because of various reasons. So be a person of honesty, number 1. And my dear friends, second is integrity. I want you all to maintain consistency in maintaining the record, interpretation of data, not manipulating. Okay, you need to integrate. Sorry, you need to be at integrity. So maintain consistency. Don't add unethical means of manipulating data. Objectivity. Keep always personal biases out of analysis. I may have my own prejudices. I should not get those into my research. So the objectivity should be kept up when we indulge in research. Respect. Treat all the participants equally. See, one may contribute very less in a research, but he should be given due honor without leaving. And fellow collaborators, please treat everyone with dignity. It is very important. Respect to anybody, not only to the human beings, but also to animals. Okay, when you get involved into laboratory experiments. Accountability. Accountability is one of the key principles in research. Take responsibility for your work. When the research is successful, success is owned by everybody. When the research is at loss, or maybe the result is not intended, we don't take responsibility. Please take responsibility whatever that happens out of your work, or the results, whatever results that occurs, maybe for the error that is committed. So be accountable. And my dear friends, when you make use of others' product, acknowledge. Okay, be accountable to whatever contribution made. So these are all 5 principles that we need to keep that in mind when we engage ourselves in research. So my dear friends, I shall give you an example. When you are asked to work on a collaborative project, for example, you are given a team project. Imagine that you are given a simple research work by your teacher. So please give proper credit to the contributors. For example, I should not take all your work and project to the teacher that I have done everything. This happens. Even small roles we need to respect. So it demonstrate honesty and respect. Okay, if something is major, contribution is by somebody, please project him or her. Okay, that is very, 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 very much essential. So these are all 5 pillars of research ethics. Okay, my dear friends, core pillars of research ethics. And my dear friends, ethical guidance in research. How are we guided ethically? My dear friends, ethical guidance which provides practical step-by-step procedure to implement these values, whatever core principles and the values that I'm going to give you right now. Obtain informed consent before involving human participants. For example, if I get if I get data from participants, please get their consent. If you are getting interview, please tell them that this interview for this purpose. please get their consent before using their data. So beware of getting their permission. The privacy should be respected. Number one, always ensure confidentiality and privacy of the data. Don't leak the data. Don't lose the confidentiality of data that you have perceived. My dear friends, avoid fabrication. No manipulation, no falsification, no plagiarism. Let us avoid all these. The manipulation will have greater impact in the results of any research. And always remember, follow institutional and national policies and research. Our institution may have policies in research. University may have policy, and the nation would have given us policy. We need to follow all these. So these are all some of the steps implementing the core principles of research, or rather, these are all ethical guidelines. I shall give you an example. Before conducting a survey, my dear friends, you are going to school and get information from students. Before doing a survey, before collecting the data, you as a researcher should get consent from parents, because students, they cannot give consent. For example, you are doing a research with LKG students, their happiness in schools, study on their happiness in schools about the teaching pedagogical approaches, the pedagogical approaches that they use. The school students may not know what you do. So it becomes essential that you need to get permission from their parents in case of minor. And it only on permission, the response or the data that you perceive from the student should be used. And my dear friends, and the identity of students. For example, I take students, college students. Imagine that I'm doing a research among the college students about their problem solving difficulties in programming. See, some students are not, I would like to study students who have difficulty in learning programs. See, when I collect their data, when they have trust in me, I should take their data confidentially, and I should treat with integrity. I should not leak their privacy. Am I clear to you? So this is an example that I wanted to give you. Now, let me just go explain one by one. Data integrity. My dear friends, let me just talk to you on, so far I have talked to you on ethics in research. Now I just move on for data integrity. My dear friends, what do you mean by data integrity? I told you what is integrity. Integrity is honesty. Being a person being honest in all the occasions, all the situation. What is here data integrity? Before I give you explanation on data integrity, please keep that in your mind. Data integrity is a major pillar of ethical research. So my dear friends, it is, data integrity refers to accuracy of data, consistency of data, and reliability of data. I repeat, accuracy of data, consistency of data, and reliability of data across its life cycle. Not at the beginning, not at the middle, not at the end. Across the research, these three things should be followed. Okay, my dear friends, from collection to storage and sharing. Okay, data collection, analytics, sharing the results. All these, process we need to follow. Data accurate, data inconsistent, data reliable, right? Data reliability. So in simple terms, my dear friends, I just would like to let you know data integrity, meaning that the data truly reliable, the data which truly reflects what you observed, what you have perceived, what you have got out of the results, exactly, without manipulating even a single point. For example, my dear friends, I still remember my undergraduate dates. I did my physics. Later, I joined MCA. When we were given, there is an experiment called a spectrometer, mu value for spectrometer. Actually, the result is obvious, 1.51. So what do we do when we have data, when we collect, when the experiment results may not give 1.51. So what do we do? Naturally, we by heart the value and bring about the result. Is it ethical? Do you think that is it ethical? No. The simple thing, I should be morally sound. So whatever that comes, you just go and show it with the professors. For example, some of the computer science students, when they try to show their results, they will manipulate. If the teacher is ignorant of some of the technologies, they'll be giving a print statement instead of original, computer results. So some teachers will not go in for details and they will award marks. The teacher may not know, but I know that I have given something wrong. I've done something wrong. I'm in guilt. I should be guilty. Okay, my difference. So keep that in your mind. In all that we do, we need to follow accuracy, consistency in everything, all that we do, and data reliability. All these should be kept in mind. For example, my dear friends, I shall give you a simple example. If you record experimental readings, okay, in a chemistry lab, imagine a chemistry lab or physics lab, they must be entered as they are, not manipulated, as I told you an example. Okay, not rounded off, not edited to make your graph look perfect or to make your results look perfect, to make your results as intended. No, it should not. Okay, my dear friends, record what you have perceived or received, what you have observed. Am I clear to you? So that should be in mind. Now, what are the principles of research ethics principles I have told you? What are the principles of data integrity? There are 4 principles of data integrity, my dear friends. Number 1, accuracy. The accuracy is a major pillar of data integrity. The data should be represented from real observation. See, if I am not done on myself, I am writing something which is not real. This is not accurate. On my own, as a fluke, I have written. No, it should not be. Accuracy should be maintained. And completeness, half done. Just want of time, half done, but I'm manipulating that I have completed fully. Okay, completeness should also be there. Don't omit inconvenient results. If you have inconvenient results, if you don't get, if the results doesn't look good, no problem. Okay, don't omit it. Consistency, I told you already, my dear friends, use uniform procedures in all the means, starting from problem definition until documentation. Carry out uniform procedures or procedure policies given or rules and regulations given. The security, protect the data from unauthorized access. Whatever that you have gained from the lab, don't leave it open for anybody to use it unless it is essential for others, unless it can be shared for others. So please protect the data, respect the privacy of respondents, and accordingly, please protect the data from the unauthorized access of data. Otherwise, it will be manipulated. Okay, it can be easily manipulated, my dear friends. My dear friends, I shall give you an example. When storing data, if you are trying to store a data, maybe on a cloud storage, imagine that you are putting it in a cloud drive, a Google Drive or OneDrive or wherever it is possible, please have strong password. Don't let anybody to make use of your data in a malicious means. Otherwise, data integrity is lost. Okay, my dear friends, this is an example for data security. So let us go for maintaining data integrity. How do we maintain data integrity? Professor, student friends, am I going well? Is it simple? So I make sure it should be very simple for the students to understand also. Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you? Fine. Students, am I going well? Student friends, I just want your feedback. Is things are okay? Student friends, because you are majority. Is things are good? Is there any takeaway for you? Or is something beyond what is not needed for you? Just wanted to know your ideas. Sure.
Yes, sir. They are answering in the chat box.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you. So, right. We are just looking ahead, exploring data integrity. Okay, my dear friends. How do we maintain data integrity? So let me just give you some valid ideas. My dear friends, data integrity should be maintained all through, I told. So let us see some nuances of maintaining that all through our research. use validations, use reliable tools. For example, though there are some free tools, free AI tools, so I should not load my data and use. There is a possibility of taking away your content, taking the cognizance of your research, taking the cognizance of your data set. So let us use validated and reliable tools. For example, you have a tool, new tool, some X or Y. You have a tool, Gemini. Gemini is by Google. Gemini is more credible because it's a global player. If something goes wrong, we may have compensation or we may have some mechanism to fight against, or something you will get some compensation you will get it if something goes wrong. But unreliable tools. See, today, these days, we are downloading simply any tool. It should not be done, my dear friends. You need to have credit check of the data, the tool, and once you feel that this app is more reliable and from an industry, from IT, which is quite existing for a long time in the industry, then you can very well make use. Otherwise, please be careful using the tool. Unknowingly, they will steal all your personal data. We need to be very, very careful. Sorry. So my dear friends, whenever you use research analysis through tools, please use validated and reliable tools. Secondly, when you store the data, please store them in an encrypted manner. Use algorithms to store it in an encrypted manner. You know more than me, storing the data with integrity. Particularly when you use the cloud-based storage, be very careful. It is end-to-end. The data is secured end-to-end. It should be available only to you and the authorized persons who can use the data. And keep the detailed document and metadata. Okay, about the data, you just have the detailed document and put it in 2-3 places so that your data is not lost. Okay, conduct periodic audits or verification. Always have conduct of periodical audits and verification with regard to data in case of research so that you don't lose. I shall give you a simple example, my dear friends, in social science research. Okay, maintaining original response sheet is very much important until you complete the documentation of the research, thesis of the research. So Google should have, when you collect the data from Google, forms, it should have timestamp. When was it collected? And it is essential to verify the authenticity even after years. Okay, maybe with timestamps, so you can prove people that it is collected in this time or a particular duration, so that your research is more reliable. So now my dear friends, I shall take you to the next. Now I just go with some negative connotation of negative impacts of results. What is misconduct in research? What is misconduct in the research? My dear friends, unfortunately, not all the researchers follow ethics. Now, majority of the researchers fall prey to malicious means. It is very sad today. We've got companies writing articles instead of the original authors. On my name, somebody writes and sells it to me. I use that. Is it good conduct in research? Somebody's product, maybe idea, copyrighted in my name. Is it something good? Or there won't be product at all, but I'll be claiming the rights. There won't be any patent. It cannot be patented, but we are given patents just by bribing. Is it allowed principle of research? Certainly not. So my dear friends, I told you, unfortunately, all the researchers are not fair. All are not carried out in fair means. So 3 most serious violation of research misconduct are, number 1, that's what I'm going to say, fabrication. What do you mean by fabrication? Making up data that never existed. Just cooking up data that never exists. That's what we call by fabrication. Falsification, you all know what I mean by falsification. Changing the data, manipulating the data. Fabrication is where the data is not there, but I'm adding something new, completely new. That is fabrication, cooking up. Falsification is existing data is being changed, modified, misinterpreting the results. That is falsification. Plagiarism, using someone's work as it was, without credit. Without the knowledge, without the credit, without acknowledgement, I'm using the data of somebody. So this is example of, these three are examples for misconduct in research. Once again, let me tell you, my dear friends, fabrication, falsification, plagiarism. Okay, my dear friends, fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. So now, my dear friends, you can just give me an example of fabrication. Can you give me an example of fabrication? Can you give me an example of fabrication? Can you give me, it should not be I alone talking all the time. Can you give me examples in your own way? What is fabrication? Can you give me an example? Anybody can give me in mic. For example, I have not carried out the result, but as I have not carried out the experiment, but as if I have carried the experiment, I just I manipulate. Right? That is falsification, inventing new data points. Yeah. Without getting involved. Inventing new data points is okay, but without proper means of research. Involves intentionally misinterpreting facts. See, misinterpreting facts comes under falsification. I just mean fabrication. Getting something or adding something which is not existing, okay, which is not real. That is fabrication. Fabricating the result, falsifying, images, manipulating data is falsification. If I use HOD Madam, Adilakshmi Madam has written an article. Without her knowledge, I'm just stealing her idea and making use of the idea in my article. What is it? What is it, friends? What is it without informing or without getting due permission? What is it out of these three? What is it? Yes, absolutely plagiarism. So, my dear friends, when we use others' data, see, for example, today, plagiarism, beyond plagiarism, today we have got AI tools, right? We have got AI tools. So, there are AI tools can create content. AI tools can give me ideas. But when I make use of AI tools, I need to acknowledge for what you have used and what is the product of AI tools. You need to acknowledge all those tools and what process you have used, what process you have carried out through using AI tool. That should be acknowledged, my dear friends. So these three principles, these three misconduct, fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism undermine scientific credibility and ethics, my dear friends. So we need to keep these things away from research. I shall give you some examples of misconduct. Okay, misconduct in research. My dear friends, see, for example, to give you more concrete, copying the entire paragraph, complete work without citation. That's what I told you just now. Without citation, without referring, without giving due credit, I'm just making use of entire paragraph and altering the graph slightly to make it favorable, to make it appealing, okay? And reporting only the positive results, not the negatives. See, for example, when we show our experimental research, particularly computer science students, see, in Java program, if you have mentioned the class name, the entire program will not go. There will be only one error. But when you correct that, you will have so many errors. Is it good? Is it good? They are trying to reduce the error and show the teacher that I have only one error. Some teacher ignorantly, they will mark it as only one error, so you will get more marks. But will it really favor you? Will it really guide you morally, ethically? No, certainly not. So, my dear friends, reporting only positive results should be avoided. You should also document failures, no harm. So, submitting the same article in multiple journals. See, for example, I have submitted to one journal, if it was published, slight modification, I give it to another journal so that I get 2-3, accreditation from different journals. No, I should not. These are all some of the misconduct. I shall give you a solid example. Some of the theses in India, many of the theses in India were rejected just after plagiarism check. It is sometimes beyond 50%. What is the percentage, my dear friends? What is the percentage of similarity? What is the percentage of similarity could be there? Can you please tell me? What is the percentage of similarity could be permitted or can be permitted? If I make use of somebody's data, what is the permitted? What is the permissible limit of making use of others' data? Can you tell me according to the policy? Give me your answers in the chat. Yeah, it could be 20, but the genuine is 10%. 10%. And can you give me what is the excellent tool for identifying plagiarism? One tool? Any one of the tools. Don't rely on any tool that is using AI. Okay. Can you tell me what is the tool that really does wonderfully to identify plagiarized content? Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example, dear friends? Can you give me an example? My dear friends, can you give me an example?
Turnitin.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Turnitin, sir.
Absolutely. Turnitin. Turnitin is the perfect tool. Turnitin is the perfect tool that gives you, exact results of plagiarism. Even AI. See, today, my dear friends, more than plagiarism, AI detection is very important. All the content submitted by the students may not be true, may not be written by them. They can make use of AI tool, but the thing is that it is for just paraphrasing or putting it in a format, but idea should be mine. But unfortunately, the students taking everything from ChatGPT or Gemini and similar tools, it should be avoided. Okay, my dear friends, have you all understood what is the misconduct of research? Okay, now let me just give you details of plagiarism and what are the other forms of plagiarism. Okay, my dear friends, what is plagiarism? What are the other forms of plagiarism? So please have clear understanding of plagiarism. Plagiarism is one of the most common forms of misconduct. Just copying and making use of others' work. Most common forms of misconduct. Everybody does. Everybody, except a few. That few should be you and me. Okay, everybody does plagiarism and it should be avoided. My dear friends, there are different types of, there are different forms of plagiarism. Number one, direct plagiarism, which means copying word for another word. Just copying. Okay. Self-plagiarism, which means reusing my own content. I might have given in an article, same can be obtained as it is. Imagine that I have just come out with an article on the Internet of Things. So same introduction which is given in the other paper or the results or some of the aspects discussed in the other paper, if I have taken as it is, then it is self-plagiarism. Mosaic plagiarism, mixing the copy text with the original ideas. See, I have copied something, but here and there I have just add mosaic plagiarism. So if you add continuously, then people can easily identify. If I add one line over there and after 5 lines, another line, it's called mosaic plagiarism, mixing copy text. And accidental plagiarism, forgetting to cite. For example, I have used others' data, but I have forgotten to cite or use paraphrasing, poor paraphrasing. Okay, for example, I tell you, my dear friends, just for plagiarism, student copying introduction from Wikipedia as it is. Now, when we do projects, when we do internships, what happens today? The integrity of a student's project documentation is questionable today. Students just get it from small companies. They sell, companies or training agencies, they sell the projects. They buy project and they come. So when they are sitting for Viva, they'll not be able to answer with integrity because they have not done it. If you have done it originally, answers will flow. You'll be able to fare well in Viva OC examination. If you have not done, then it is you cut a sorry figure, right? So my dear friends, copying the content from one of the digital sources is also plagiarism. So you all know what are the different types of plagiarism: direct plagiarism, self-plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, and accidental plagiarism. Now, how do you avoid plagiarism? How do you prevent plagiarism? My dear friends, these are all ways and means for preventing plagiarism. Always cite your sources properly. All your sources should be properly done. For example, wherever I have obtained the data, I should cite them. I should properly be noting it in my article. And I told you, use a strong plagiarism checker. Turnitin. I recommend Turnitin personally. Learn more paraphrasing and reference correctly. Okay, how to make a reference properly, how to make bibliograph properly. Encourage originality and novelty in research, not the existing one. Just try to bring out something completely new. So the novelty and originality should be brought in writing also. The experimental, it may be done, but in writing, I may not follow the integrity. So it should be with the originality and novelty, my dear friends. So, my dear friends, as I told you, you can also use Grammarly, you can use Turnitin, you can use some authenticated tool to check the plagiarism, right? So, my dear friends, let me go for faculty responsibilities. What are the responsibility of a faculty in research ethics? So, what could be the responsibility of a faculty? My dear teachers, teaching fraternity, I'm just giving in general because I was told by the organizers that Dr. Amrin that so many students are joining. That's why I make it very simple so that it goes to them also. What is the role of you and me in research ethics or carrying out research ethically? As faculty members, we are not just teachers, we are also mentors. Students look at us. When I'm a person of integrity in my research, I pass on the same to my students. If I'm a person of, go with the misconduct, involving in falsification, involving in forgery means of doing my research, I will show depth fear to my students, or I will not take care of my students involving in misconduct in the research. So as teachers, as mentors, we should not be only supervisors. We should set the tone for the students. Yes, we should set them the values for research. We should guide them morally, ethically. Yes, my dear friends, you and me should be a model, should be ethical. Whenever students observe us, they should get the real feel that we are real ethical practitioners in research. Please ensure proper supervision. Not making use of the scholars' expertise, for unknowing, illegal means. And please promote academic honesty to a certain extent, not to a certain extent, to every point and everywhere. Promote academic honesty. Report violations responsibly. If there is something goes wrong, please report it. Never bother about anybody. Then only you can be a person of integrity. So, my dear friends, report the violations responsibly. If somebody has done, please reject the work. Don't simply make them get through. Let them, if you are trying to give them a chance, let them repeat. Don't simply award marks. For example, some teachers, we know that this research work done by PG or UG students may not be ethical. It might have not been done by others. If you are sure, please stop them. Please guide them. Please tell them that they should do research genuinely. For example, my dear students, my dear teachers, if the students submit AI generated content, please guide them how to rewrite in their own way. They might have got the idea. Let them write it on their own understanding rather than simply just using them exactly. Okay, my dear friends. Now, these are all responsibilities of mentors or faculty in case of research. Now, what are the responsibilities of the institution? What are the responsibility of the institution? Can you tell me? What are the responsibility of the institution? I shall ask you. Now, I have told you about the responsibility of the faculty. Can you tell me what are the responsibility of an institution? Can you tell me, my dear friends? Can you tell me responsibility of some of the... Yes, ma'am. Tell me, ma'am. What is that? Yeah. Institution, research center is there, but how it should be maintained? Now, we need to have research policy. Okay, we need to have research policy, guidelines, moral values should be insisted among the researchers.
Providing resources.
Exactly, providing the needed resources. If you don't provide the needed resources, then
And stimulating integrity.
falsification of results only will come. Yeah. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, what are the others? Come on, my dear friends. I think I have lost one of you. Yeah, one was sharing. What now? Tell me. I've told you certain role of faculty. Now you tell me what are the roles and responsibility of an institution. How the institution should guide researchers and faculty members in research. We should give them research real
ensuring institution
Yes,
should make sure that whether the research conduct is ethically done.
Yeah, we should ensure that research is done ethically. See, for example, imagine that we are an autonomous institution. The conduct of examination is with us. So can I award marks for a student without writing an exam? I should not do it, though there is a genuine reason. I should not do it. Instead, I should guide them for a retest. I should help them for appearing for the retest, right? That should be by the faculty. But for the institution, we need to follow ethical practices and responsibilities. Now, let us see what are the institutional responsibilities. My dear friends, please establish Research Ethics Committee. So it is very important. RECs, Research Ethics Committee. Do we have one in the college? Do we have one in the college, ma'am? Amreen, ma'am, do we have one in the college?
Yes,
do we
sir.
have
Yes,
that in
sir.
the college? Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Recently we have started.
Yeah, very good, very good. So do we have a club in the in our department? So you can have a club. You can have a club
Yes,
where
sir.
you can promote
We are having
ethics among the students in academic practices, not
Sure,
only
sir.
research, but generally academic practice. So we need to establish
Sure,
committees. RECs should be established. I'm happy that Christ has one. And provide training on ethics and integrity. Always like this. See, for example, Christ Department of Computer Science has taken a lead for the conduct of a session on ethics and integrity. It should be conducted for all and periodically. Please develop clear policies. I told you policies have to be very, very clear with regard to documentation, with regard to data collection, with regard to data storage, with regard to citation, with regard to reviews and so on. For all the process of research should be guided with policies. Okay, and encourage open and transparent reporting. It's not cooking up stories. It is not paraphrased stories. No, we should always encourage the teachers to come out with their own open and transparent reporting. And these are all some of the responsibilities of an institution. And one of the things which are not given in the list is institution. The responsibility is to provide the essential, experimental setup or consumables or machineries for carrying out the research. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Great. Absolutely. Thank you for adding. Yes, the right resources should be provided. Yeah, digital resources should be provided. Otherwise, what will happen? For example, instead of getting journals in the open means, students will unethically download. So how many of us unethically download papers? How many of you have downloaded it? See, for example, some of the IEEE papers for computer science students, we cannot download it without subscription. You need to subscribe $30+ for downloading a paper. But we sometimes unethically download those. It is not morally right. So you and me should see that, it should ensure that unethical downloading is also against moral code of conduct of research, right? Okay. So thank you very much. Providing institutional responsibility is to provide digital resources also. Thank you. Thank you very much. So my dear friends, we are going for the review process. Very important. Review process is very, very important. Okay. Both in the conferences and in journals. Sometimes it happens, just he is known to me. The professor is known to me. He is working in the neighboring college. So we can be little lenient with the review process. That is why we go for blind reviews. We do not expose the identity. Even the identity is exposed. Let me be frank. Let me be giving them the genuine, results or genuine report of the journal. So how ethically the review process should be enhanced. The ethical review process should be ensured. As proposed research means, moral and legal standards. We should have legal and moral standards. Based on the legal and moral standards, we need to go for the following steps that I'm going to brief you. Number one, submit your proposal to the committee. Okay, before you go for submitting your thesis, you submit your proposal to the committee. Access the potential risk and benefit. Assess. Okay, just get to know what are the potential risks and benefits. Okay, and monitor continuously on the ongoing process. Continuously, we need to monitor. Okay, and post-research reporting should also be mindful. Data sharing. So these are all some of the literal review process. Apart from these, what is listed, my dear friends, when you do reviews, let us keep the privacy of the feeders, privacy of the authors. Sometimes, if the author's writing is not up to the mark, please never let others know about their integrity or their talents and so on. Never ever share it with anybody. It should be confidential. If it is highly confidential, and it should not be known to the others. For example, if the project report is reviewed, I should not have my own biases. I should be balanced. I should be objective in evaluating, in reviewing any content, my difference. If it is not acceptable, write it as not acceptable. Don't try to please others. Don't try to manipulate others, right? It's both for teachers and students. My dear friends, teachers, when you do reviews, keep that in mind. Go by the policy, not by persons. Okay, my dear friends, students, when you submit, please go by the process, not to please anybody just by adding their works, which is not at all worth or not essential, right? Okay. Now let me just go for the next one. Data management plan. I'm just going for data management plan. Let me just go. What do you mean by data management? What do you mean by data management plan? In short, it is called as DMP. This is refined how research data will be collected. Friends, please understand how data is being collected, stored, accessed, and preserved. Please carefully note it. How they are collected, how they are stored, how they are assessed, and how they are preserved for longer while. So it is also ownership and sharing policy. Who can be shared with the data? Who can own the data? Who can access the data? That matters a lot. All that should be kept in mind. For example, funding bodies. We have so many funding bodies. We have DST, UGC, ICSSR. They all need to have data management plan. They require data management plan. It should be furnished in the proposal. So please, researchers should ensure and they should think about handling data before beginning the research. We should have a plan. Only then we'll be able to collect it properly. Only then we'll be able to collate it properly, analyze it properly, access it properly, and giving access to others properly. So we need to have Pakka data management plan, and the data should not go used unauthorized, right? Now, let me just go with the FAIR principles. What do you mean by FAIR principle? FAIR. It is self-explanatory, and I shall go one by one. So, with regard to data, it should be findable. FAIR, F stands for findable. Others can easily locate your data easily, should easily locate your data. Don't try to hide. Okay, it should be findable. It should be accessible. My dear friends, many, there is policy in every university that before that Viva was, the copy of the thesis should be kept in library. But many do not do. You know why? Because they would like to hide. They wanted to keep it away. No, my dear friends, it should be findable. it should be accessible. The permissions should be very clear and it should be transparent. Who can use the data and who should not use the data. We need to clearly specify, okay, with regard to accessibility. And interoperability, data can work with other data sets. Okay, one data may need other data set. So you need to work with interoperable data with due permission. Reuse properly, document it for further. See, when data, if I use the data which was collected 10 years before, I can reuse it, but properly I need to get permission and document the research results. For example, my dear friends, when you have open source of data storage, please follow the principles, follow these principles. For example, when you store your data into Google Drive, the Google Drive is of course with you, but when you give the priority for sharing, it should be in the restricted manner, not open. When you give it in open, anybody with a link can get your data accessed, and they may fabricate the data, they may manipulate the data, which will cause false impact in the research. My dear friends, let us go for publication, which is very important, very, very important. Publication. How do I ethically, what are the ethical practices of publishing or authorship? My dear friends, when you try to write an article, you become an author. When I write an article, I become an author. What are the ethical practices in publication? Maybe in writing article, in writing books, or contributing chapters, or presenting papers in a conference. So it should always reflect, when you are an author, I should always have my authorship. Okay, we should avoid, gift authorship or ghost authorship. My dear friends, carefully noted, I shall explain to you these two terms, very important that you should know. Before that, what is authorship? What is authorship? Can you tell me? If I give you authorship, see, for example, you and me write. Friends, please understand, you and me write. I also contribute an article written by you. It is an authorship. Okay, I also become an author. See, these days, so many people write books without originally writing. Do they have authorship? Yes, they are given authorship, but their conscience will always tell them that it is not your work. So originality and your authorship should really contribute your integrity within. Okay, my dear friends. Now let me explain in detail on gift and ghost authorship. Let me begin with ghost authorship. My dear friends, ghost authorship is a term that is used when an individual who made a substantial intellectual contribution, for example, a student who has come out with major contribution. For example, imagine that I'm a research advisor. I have a team of my own research students. So my research students contribute a lot for the work. Due to time constraint, I might have not contributed. You know what I do? I take up his work and I use it. I remove his authorship. I don't mention his contribution. It is called ghost authorship, which means omitting a contribution in an author's list. It's called ghost authorship. See, for example, junior researcher, maybe students performing significant work, okay, in data analysis or writing the draft. But they are pressurized by a senior teacher to avoid his name in the author's list because of power dynamics. This may be one reason. And sometimes industry-funded research. What happens? Imagine that a pharmaceutical company or medical device company pays a professional medical writer. The original work is by some academician, but they will own, the industry will own for money. Okay. So it is also ghost authorship, which means avoiding his name in the author list or in copyright. Okay, my dear friends. And my dear friends, why is it unethical? Why the ghost authorship is unethical? It denies the credit. It denies the recognition of somebody. It hides conflicts of interest. Okay, my dear friends. And we lack in accountability. We need to be accountable. We need to acknowledge people with even the lesser contribution. So keep that in mind, dear friends. And the second one is gift authorship. You know what do you mean gift authorship? It is also something similar, but directly contrast to ghost. Okay. Yeah. Tell me. Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. See, I might have done some very little, or I might have not contributed at all, but I find my name in the list. So, you know what it is for the professors, sometimes students also. See, if I really guided my student, I have every right to find my name in the list of authorship. If I have not contributed, if the entire work is by the student, I have not guided even a single bit, I should not claim ownership over there. As students here, look at here, you are given a group project. Imagine that there are 5 students and one student had never ever contributed anything, but he's adding his name, his gift authorship, which means without contribution, your name is added. Both the ghost and gift authorship should be avoided, my dear friends. Do you understand? My dear friends? Okay, do you get me? Okay, why do I avoid? Okay, it is sometimes it happens. Hierarchy. Just because of hierarchy, just because of I'm your guide, just because of I'm your teacher. Okay, it demands that my name should be on top without contribution. And my dear friends, the prestige. Okay, what will others think when my name gets in the 4th name, when my student's name is on top? Prestige. Okay, so please avoid all these, my dear friends. Now I shall just go for a disclosure of conflicts. My dear friends, all that we do should be, the conflicts of interest should be disclosed in the publication. That should not be taken for consideration. And never publish negative results when valid. Okay, publish negative results. For example, I intend to bring out something, but I have got something else. Never bother. It is also a research. See, for example, I'm just doing a chemical research. I wanted to bring out something. See, at home, we try to cook something, but something comes out. It's okay. We need to accept. We need to claim. Sometimes it so happens you buy from hotel, claim to the guess that it is made by me. Is it ethical? It should not. Similarly, whatever that you get out of your experiment, if it is something negative, unintended, please publish. Never bother. That is also a result. Okay, my dear friends. So these are all ethical guidelines, ethical practices when publication matters a lot with regard to ethical practices. Now I go for IPR, intellectual property rights. Okay, my dear friends. What do you mean by IPR? Can you tell me what can be IPR? What can be brought under IPR? Can you tell me, my dear friends? What can be brought under IPR? What are the things that could be brought under IPR? See, for example, I have a car and it is written in my own name. It is a document. It is a product. I have a land, it is written in my name. I have a document. But when I have an idea, when I have a process, when I have a recipe, when I have a trademark, all those could be brought under this IPR. Okay, my dear friends? Okay? Yeah, for legal protection of your ideas, legal protection of your brain, legal protection of the outcome of your research. And my dear friends, if your research is very genuine, please understand, if your research is very genuine, the end product should come out with IPR, should be able to register with IPR. But today, even IPR is done falsely. Unfortunately, my dear friends, there are so many companies today who sells, patents, who sells, papers, articles, who does review process on behalf of somebody, who does all the process of PhD by some others and paying for it. These are all malicious practices in research, my dear friends. That is why the standards of academic research has come down. My dear friends, the whole world may praise you. but I know who I am and what I have contributed and what do I possess exactly. So we need to be morally, ethically guided consciously. Okay, my dear friends. Right. Let me just go ahead with intellectual property right. Friends, with regard to IPR, I told you all these ideations or process or your own recipe or some little contribution intellectually that should be owned. The ownership of your own idea should be documented properly. We need to recognize the owners. For example, sometimes in industry it happens. In academia mostly it doesn't, but in industry, the researcher should have given his entire life, day and night, found something, but he will not be given royalty. Instead, the whole property should be documented in the name of the company, and the company owns it for all along, but paying a meager amount to the original researcher. It should not be. We need to recognize the ownership or the contributor. Avoid infringement. Okay, we need to avoid unauthorized usage or reuse. We should never. For example, if somebody has done it, I'm trying to just do little modification and try to copy or own it. For example, sometimes we see some design models. It looks similar exactly. Slightly there will be slightly a word differs. That is to falsify the buyers or customers to try to show that it is a brand which is a reliable brand just by modification. It should not be. So avoid infringement. And my dear friends, let us understand. Let us understand what could be copyrighted, how copyrights could be done, how patenting is done, how trademarks could be done, what all could be registered under copyrights, what all could be registered under patents, what all could be registered under trademarks, and the basics, procedures, what about whom should be observed, whom should be approached, everything should be made known, and researchers should know. The students should also know these days. Okay, my dear friends. Please encourage innovation while respecting rights. Okay, we need to encourage innovation. If there is no innovation, please don't register that under intellectual property right. Okay, only things under innovation can be thought of. Can go for registering under IPR. Okay, my dear friends. Am I boring you? Friends, am I boring you? I'll just finish it off. Now, let me just give you one or two case studies. Okay, one or two case studies. You will have to answer me now. It is a workshop. I want you to answer now. I want everybody to answer now. I thought I could give you, exploration on some of the AI tools, but I don't have time. So I request all of you to please answer me this, and I would like to take up queries exactly after maybe 10 minutes. After going through these case studies, I would like to take up real queries. I will also give you some exploration on usage of AI, okay, in research. Unfortunately, I'm not able to give you the demonstration of AI tools. I request madams, organizers, to give me one more opportunity to give you tools on research and AI for AI, starting from ideation till data. I mean, till findings, till policy writing, documenting, and so on. Okay, my dear friends. Now let me just go ahead. Now, number one. Case number one. The researcher alters the data to archive the desired results. Imagine that the data is being falsified. What do you mean by falsification? Is it fabricated? Modifying data is fabricated or falsification? If there is nothing, I'm adding something new. It is fabricated. Existing data, what I see, but I'm trying to change the data. It is falsification. So now, the investigator reveals that the manipulation of graphs and figures, we will be able to find out easily. So, my dear friends, sometimes if it is identified, what will happen? If it is really analyzed, for example, I do a research, I apply for a funding, and they have granted me funding. I'm trying to manipulate the result. Once it is identified, it has happened in many cases. They will identify at a point of time and at any time, they may ask you to repay the amount. So the end result is, your paper will be retracted. I mean, they will reject. It may be published. Kindly hold on. It may be published, but it will not be anymore in the list or anymore in the publication, right? You might have spent the entire amount for research, but the fund will be revoked. Okay, in case of falsification. So moral of the story, my dear friends, what is the moral of the story? What should you do with regard to falsification? Tell me. With regard to falsification, what should you do? What will you do? What will you do, my dear friends, with regard to falsification? What will be the solution? What is the solution for falsification? What should we do? What? Yeah, we are not supposed to manipulate the data. Very good. Come on, I want your answers in the chat window. Come on, my dear friends. I want you to give me your answers in the chat quickly. What will you do? See, for example, you are given a work in the lab. See, I get errors. Should I try to show false results by print statement, or should I show the professor or the evaluator that the result, I have not received the result? What is fine? Should I show them a result which is not by you, or I go to different login? See, for example, imagine that I have shown a result done by somebody's login. I use somebody's login and show his work. Is it fine? Is it fine? Am I audible to you, my dear friends? Are you listening to me? Can I have your answers in the chat window? Yeah, it is a workshop. Come on, reply, my dear friends. You can type your answers in the chat. No, I should not change. Whatever comes, show the professors. Get your marks. For all, friends, please understand, for all your results, you will be rewarded. Don't worry. See, never ever think that, in mathematics, sometimes, what happens in problem solving, we straight away go give the answer without giving the steps. So it is unethical. It is immoral. It is not moral. So it is very much essential to use the exact data what we perceived out of the research. Okay, my dear friends, never ever manipulate the work, never ever cook up, or never ever modify the data. So falsification should not be there. So follow transparency, follow integrity in your work. Number 2, imagine a faculty member publishes a paper with a copied content. Imagine myself. Okay, I am publishing a paper with somebody's. Yeah, Aswath, you wanted to raise a question? Aswath, would you like to raise a question? Okay, right. So, a faculty, imagine myself, has published a paper by copying others' work. Imagine that the plagiarism software, before journal acceptance is done. Okay, is done and identified. So what will happen? So institution will certainly have a negative impact on the particular faculty. Myself, if I have copied, if I have used plagiarized content, so you will lose your reliability, credibility. So it becomes essential that I should publish my own work. I should never ever use others' work. If at all I use, I should get proper permission. I should properly acknowledge. I should cite. Okay, my dear friends. So genuinely, we should use our own work. Okay, we should avoid plagiarized content. Okay, my dear friends. So can you tell me what is the allowed plagiarism level? Can you tell me the allowed plagiarism level, my dear friends? Allowed plagiarism level? 10%. 10%. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, with regard to, I would like to just add on something here. AI. Can I get ideas using AI? Can I get ideas using AI? You tell me yes or no. You tell me 1 or 2. 1 is okay, 2 is no. Can I get research ideas using AI? Can I get research ideas using AI? Certainly nothing wrong. Certainly nothing wrong getting ideas. But getting entire article done, with the AI. Is it fine? Is it fine? One or two? Come on, I think 89 people are there. Is it difficult to just press 2 or 1? Are you listening to me, my dear friends, or is it something very difficult for you to understand? I'm sorry, because it is something connected in general, something not directly in touch, but in future you are going to be researchers. So it becomes essential, my dear friends, to know all these. My dear friends, I can use AI for getting ideas. Can I manipulate my data using AI? See, for example, I have written an article, fully sentenced. If I want to add a mathematical model, can I? No, I should not. See, instead, I describe all my problem. I just give the way that it should be presented. When I'm able to describe my problem, and I'm able to describe my research procedure, when I know what I want, then I can get suggestions of any mathematical model. Then I need to know the mathematical model. I need to study and I need to formulate myself, not asking AI to do. Okay. And can I write projects using AI? Can I write projects using AI? Today, every funding agency is restricting projects written by or drafted by AI. See, my dear friends, one thing you should remember, we may have original idea of my research. For example, I have my own idea. Okay, but some may be an excellent researcher, but may not be a good writer, may not be technically writing it well. So in that case, what should we do? We can use paraphrasing tool. We can use tools like Quillbot and so on. So we can very well paraphrase, but the thing is that we need to acknowledge. See, for example, can I make use of the tool for analysis? Very well. See, all the researchers may not know the analysis, statistics and analysis. Not necessary. We can get the help of a statistician. But you need to know what should be analyzed. You need to know the procedure to analyze. Only thing is that for the implementation, you are getting the help of an expert or AI tool. But they should be documented. They should be acknowledged. They should be given due credit. Am I clear to you, my dear friends? So when you make use of AI tool for plagiarism, you need to incorporate, we need to acknowledge that this visualization is done using AI tool. I have paraphrased my idea using AI tool. I have formulated this image using AI. I have formulated this research problem using AI tool. I have designed my hypothesis with the help of AI tool with my own insight. I have drafted the questionnaire with my insights using AI tool. So please make sure it should be your own idea. It should be the sources from you, and formulating, making it creative, I should use AI tool. So the base should be mine. Only then I should use AI tool, not relying on AI tool completely to be carried out. For example, my dear friends, you are given a project by your teacher. Don't rely on AI tool to completely do it. You do it on your own in case of errors, in case of mistakes. Just log on and get to know the error, how to solve the error, then solve it on your own. Load it there and check whether the problem is rectified. Okay, for that, you use AI tool. Instead, if I rely on AI tool completely, I will lose my brain one day. I lose my credibility. I will not be respected, my dear friends. And my dear friends, if at all I respected, I know myself what is the level of my intelligence, what is the level of my contribution to my research. So let us be morally, ethically guided by consciousness, not just by principles, not just by policies. You and me should be guided morally, ethically by our conscience. Okay, my dear friends, with that, I shall take you for case number, the best practices in research. So I would like to sum up, my dear friends. With that, I will stop and go for some insights at the end. Okay, just there are about 2 slides. With that, I'll stop. My dear friends, the best practices in research. Please maintain a detailed logbook. Whatever you do, please keep a log of things so that it will help you. It will create integrity, and you will be reliable. My dear friends, your data will be reliable. Maintain a detailed lab notebook. Record everything, whatever happens, whoever comes, whatever is observed, all that should be recorded. whenever you go into the lab, record it. Whoever comes, whoever discusses, whatever contributed, everything should be recorded with timestamp. Adopt open science and transparency. We need to have transparency. And my dear friends, I will also recommend when you publish, try to publish it in open journals, so that you are helping others to read your papers free of cost. Instead, the others will be downloading your papers in malicious means. And be transparent that wherever you have taken the data, wherever you got the base idea, please acknowledge. And please continuously attend workshops, attend trainings, and get to know the policies, policy frameworks of the country, and policy frameworks of ethical research by the universities, by the institutions. If your university and institution do not have or does not have, please please frame one policy starting from assignment submission, group projects, group works, and so on, and also for research at MPhil and PhD level. Encourage interdisciplinary collaboration. See, when we have collaboration, for example, when I do a research, I'm an excellent researcher in the experimental area. So I may look for somebody's help for analysis. A statistician may come in. And if I want to make use of social science researcher, I can make use. So I can go for collaboration instead of using others' expertise without their names. Ghost authorship. Okay, ghost authorship. That should not be. So please encourage interdisciplinary collaboration in research. These are all some of the best practices maintaining ethical practices. My dear friends, these are all some of the challenges. For example, we are pressurized. The staff members are pressurized to publish every year. People say, publish or perish. Usually, many of the institutions tell us they fix targets. Sometimes, due to our pressure, we will not be able to publish. So, in that case, never ever lose integrity. Never ever let us not buy papers. Never ever let us involve in malicious means of publishing articles. Okay, even under any pressure. Okay, maybe competition. For example, I approach doubts. I approach agents for getting recognition. I pay money for getting an award for my research. I pay money for publication of my works. That should not be. And friends, lack of awareness. Sometimes without knowing, people do it. Without knowing that this is guilt, people know it. So it is essential that the ethical policy should be made known to people, and mentoring should be done. And you and me as teachers should properly guide our students and scholars. And technological misuse, AI generated content, falsely fabricated content, written content by some tools. So technological misuse should not be. It can be potentially used. Some of the journals even permit AI, potential usage of AI. But the thing is that I should have my own base, only to embellish, only to add the flavor to the data. I need to use technological tools, my dear friends. So these are all challenges in maintaining integrity. So my dear friends, it is a time to conclude. So let us all together create a foundation of trust and excellence. Let us mutually respect each other, my dear friends. Let us follow all the regulations of the institutions and guidance by the society in ethical research. So when we build a foundational trust and mutually we respect and we contribute our own original. Secondly, my dear friends, I want you to keep data integrity. Let us ensure that the credibility of data and it should be reproducible, and data integrity should be maintained at any cost. And faculty should play a key role. We need to maintain, we need to mentor our students, fostering ethical culture in research. We should inculcate the habit in all the stakeholders, scholars, fellow teachers. When we review the other notebooks or the theses and so on, we should be a role model. We should be a model for all our students, all our peers. And my dear friends, we need to be committed Yes. Only when we are committed to ethical research, quality in research can be enhanced. When I am ethical, when you are ethical, when we are ethical in research, naturally, my dear friends, the quality of the research goes up and the end product of the research would certainly benefit the society. So, my dear friends, let us pledge to be an ethical researcher so that you and me can contribute for quality research for the upliftment of oneself, society, and everyone in the country. Thank you very much, my dear friends. All the very best. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Now over to you for clarification. Is there any clarification? Please. My dear friends, you can also give your comments. You're most welcome to give your comments also, please. What I would like to ask you all, at least one point. What is your takeaway from this? What is your takeaway from this? I have just spoken for nearly about 1 hour 45 minutes. What is your takeaway? Madam? Yeah? Yeah, please, madam. That will be more interesting. Yeah, I will give you exposure of using AI tools for productive learning, but morally, ethically. Okay, all that we do should have moral base. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your compliment. Yeah. Yeah, for example, imagine that I involve respondents from a village. I collect data from them. Tell them that what is the result. Not simply go and ask them to fill the data, you give money or you give some compliments. No, you need to define them, call them all, or individually you need to give them the objective of the research and what is their data will be used, because they are all vulnerable and they may not know ignorantly. They may not they may give what they may answer all the queries whatever that we ask for. Anybody in the village or anybody in maybe in the schools and so on, just because people go, they may give. But as a ethical researcher, we need to explain them what the research is intending for and how we are going to make use of the data. So that is what I mean when we involve human in research, particularly getting response. But in some cases, laboratory researchers particularly in medicine, people make use of human as test cases. In that case, we need to respect the policies of the country. I cannot ethically make use of a human being for a research for which I should not use a human being. So both the cases, just for collecting data, starting from simple thing, I need to respect the people. I should also respect people for for the research. Simply just because they are poor, I cannot maliciously or I cannot get their organs for some analysis or blood for analysis and so on. I should know why my blood is collected, even though they pay money, but they have no right to make use of my blood for research, for medical research. But they should tell me that why my sample is collected and what is the result that they're going to use. And if at all it is collected, it should be kept secret. Okay, it should not be made known to people. Any of my, samples collected from me. Am I clear to you, ma'am? Yeah. Yeah, please. Excellent. See, research is what is research? Research simply not, see, for example, on a fine day, I lie down on a bed, it doesn't come on my head. See, there may be a problem. Please understand the process of research. You find a problem. And when I'm trying to give a solution for that problem, I need to define the problem well. Okay, I need to construct the problem in a well-defined manner. I need to just experiment. Maybe I need to collect data. I need to just set the goal objective for my research. I need to collect data. I need to analyze the data. Then I need to find out, I need to perceive the results of the data. I need to find out the results, and I need to just come out with the insights of the research. This is the original procedure. So for that, I need to study a lot. See, research, which means I need to study similar work. See, for example, I'm trying to find out a robot. I need to read a lot of research articles from others, how a robot is done, what would be the problems, what are the solutions, what could be the future, all that I have to read. So while writing my article, I need to cite those that I have just obtained insight. When I read this article, I might have obtained an insight. When I read the other one, I might have got something. When I read the other one, so all these should be cited properly. There is nothing wrong citing somebody's work in my own way, not copying as it is. See, please understand, if you copy just as a bulk, I use it, whether you use the AI tool or, you just simply use it. It is unethical. But still, if I just get somebody's work, I perceive, I write it on my own way, nothing wrong with citation. So please refer, please acknowledge. With acknowledgement, it is fine. Okay, but never ever copy and use it as it is, right? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. God bless.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah, please.
In the process of pursuing a research, we'll be sending our research articles to several journals. Yeah. So now, how do we ensure our research papers' confidentiality?
Yeah. See, when authors follow ethics, the publishers should also follow ethics. Today, unfortunately, my dear friend, I think you are a student, right? Unfortunately, today so many publishers violate the policy on integrity of confidentiality of the paper or data. We are not sure whether they share with somebody or not. We believe. That is why I let you know, please contribute your original article only to authorized or genuine publishers. See, genuine publishers will take long time for processing your article. They'll be very plain. They will not accept if your article is not up to the mark. Sometimes it may be very painful that your article gets rejected. Never ever get worried. Improve your article and you can resubmit, no problem, maybe based on the suggestion. If they have completely rejected, don't try to publish there again. Or don't try to send the same articles to somebody else. Okay, let us look for credible sources of publishers, with credible publishers, reliable publishers, and you can publish. You can find open. You can find open, and you can find reliable publishers. Reliable publishers may not get money. Of course, they get meager money for processing and so on, but they should not demand you money. And if somebody does, reviewing within a day, they cannot be a true publishers. Within 24 hours, nobody can publish your paper. Nobody can publish. It involves a lot of time. So never ever go after somebody who does publishing immediately. These days, people buy, articles. If you pay 4,000 rupees, your name will also be added, but without knowing the gist of what is there in the article. All these are not encouraged. We should not. We should not. Okay, my dear friends. So even though it takes time, please go find reliable publishers, credible publishers, so that you can you can publish your articles, your original contribution in the standard journals. Do not fall prey to malicious journals or predatory journals. Okay, take care of choosing the journals also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, my dear friends, I request you all, what is your takeaway? Come on, type one sentence. What have you learned? What have you perceived from the workshop? With that, we'll go. You can also give your feedback in the chat window. Please give your takeaway. What have you perceived? That is very important. Even a little. Okay. So, with that short note, my dear friends, I would like to end thanking the management once again, thanking the Department of Computer Science and Basic Sciences, Dr. Adi Lakshmi, the head of the department, Dr. Amrin and Dr. Ramya, right? Dr. Ramya and my friend Sam, and all of you, my dear friends, for your patient listening. Thank you. All the very best. God bless us all. Please give your insights, takeaways in the chat window. Thank you. Thanks a lot. God bless us.
Thank you so much, sir, for that truly enriching session and for patiently addressing the questions and sharing such valuable insights. As we kind of today's program, it's time to express our gratitude. I now invite Parani Selvi from First BCA to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to everyone. First of all, I thank the Almighty God for His blessings and grace which made today's event a great success. I take this moment to express my sincere gratitude to our respected principal for the continuous encouragement and support in organizing such enlightening session. A special thanks to our head of the department for the constant guidance and motivation throughout the event. My heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Dr. A. Vimal Gerald, for taking time from his busy schedule to be with us and sharing his valuable knowledge and insights. I also extend my gratitude to all the faculty members, student coordinators, and organizing team who worked hard to make this program successful. Finally, I thank the management for giving me this wonderful opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Tarani, for such valuable thoughts. And dear participants, please fill the feedback link which is posted in the chat box.
Thank you all. Bye-bye. Thank you. All the best. So keep that in mind. You and me should be morally, ethically guided in all that we do. Starting from learning and research, all the practices. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Zeba.